Hey, moron! Hey, moron! Dude! Look at me! I'm the waterboard, dude!
Well, good morning, good people. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get over business here and let's wake up the football gods. Boy, Cowboys released 2 players, signed 2 players, but don't get too excited. Special teams, anyone? Camp bodies, anyone? These are guys that probably won't be moving the needle much. And after Jair Alexander, who kind of took a team-friendly deal to rejoin being with Lamar Jackson, signed a deal for $4 million with a max of $6 million on a 1-year deal. So I think the Cowboys wanted to make some moves to kind of turn the page a little bit there. But before we get into everything that is the Dallas Cowboys, you know, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been actually doing this. You might as well say that my YouTube career started with Dak Prescott, and I get accused of being just a Dak Prescott fan. And I'll be real with you. My original channel started out in 2012. And until 2016, I had less than 1,000 subscribers. You know, YouTube, in fact, YouTube was not that big as far as, you know, the sports talk like it is now, where everybody and their sister is going to YouTube. It was in its infancy. And YouTube is now 20 years old. In 9 years, I've seen a lot of changes. But I remember doing a video, and this is back in the day when I used to have Joe Boo was up there. I'd have Joe Boo in my hands. I'd have a camera here. And Joe Boo would be the one talking. And it was after the Senior Bowl. And I looked and I said, that's the perfect quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. And nobody watched it. That was until Tony Romo got hurt. Then people started watching it. I got people like Walker Wade who've been there since the beginning, one of the early subscribers to my channel. And I appreciate Walker Wade. You just never know which Wade you're going to get. You know, sometimes he comes in hot, blasting everybody. Other times he comes in, everything's going to be okay. You just don't know what you're going to get with him. But it was that video that started getting people to watch me. And I got my first 1,000 subscribers in October before my birthday in 2016. And so I guess in some regard, I have to thank Dak Prescott for this channel being here. And I probably will always be on Dak Prescott's side because of that. And you can hate me because you want to, or maybe you just want to have somebody to yell at. Because Lord knows I get emails, text messages, Facebook messages, hate in the streams, channels that are dedicated to just hating Mark Holmes and all. It's not easy. It's funny because back, I think, when the draft was in Chicago, I met Jay Tuck. And I wish I could find that video that Joe Boo interviewed Jay Tuck. But I can't seem to find it. There's too many. I've done too many over the years. But Jay Tuck was doing a video yesterday and had one of the Dak Prescott haters call in, CFO Sports. Definitely check him out. He's the real deal. And this is the typical stuff that you end up facing. At some point, you kind of get tired of just the same straight up hate. You know, when you think about last season, how the Cowboys were set up for failure. If Stephen A. Smith was ever right about everything going wrong, it was last offseason. You waited to get signed CeeDee Lamb, in which case he held out all of training camp, right? You had 2 weeks to get him ready and up to speed and worry about having a soft tissue injury. Brandon Cooks has an infection on his knee and is not able to play to start the season. Diggs' knee never was right. Couldn't get out of the field. Deron Bland, mystery injury that by every week we heard he's close. And what was it, week 11 before he got on the field? a Sam Williams, a guy that you planned on having, take a big leap, ends up tearing his ACL in training camp. D-Law's injured throughout the season. You got rid of Tony Pollard, and you brought in Dalvin Cook and Zeke Elliott, and literally you couldn't run the football. You had 2 rookie offensive linemen. One played pretty good, and Cooper Beebe was one of the top rookies offensive linemen from the draft. Tyler Guyton, not so much. Terrence Steele struggled. And you look at that and say, I don't know how you're going to succeed. Oh, add to that, Micah Parsons missing 4 games after having 1 sack in the first 4. So Jay Tuck took this call. Let's listen to this.
Let's walk it back. And I apologize for the callers, man, but this is what the people want, right? So you're telling me the guy, right, because you remember this time last year, Dak was not paid, right? He wasn't under contract. Well, he was under contract, but he was situated for a new deal, right? Right? Correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you're telling me that the guy who decided to go to voluntary OTAs, mandatory OTAs, and also go through an entire training camp, right, as he was searching for a brand new deal, decided to quit on his team the middle of the season and say, you know what, I don't want to play no more. Let me get some fake crutches out.
Well, he signed a deal before the Falcons game.
No.
Signed it before the Cleveland Browns game.
You mean to tell me a player, bro, that sacrificed in the offseason and played when he should have really held out. Dak really should have held out. He did all of that and still competed as he was competing for a deal. Now, if he would have tore his hamstring in camp, he would have probably been SOL, right? But you feel like he did all of that just to get midway through the season and just quit just for the hell of it.
That's what it seems to me. It ain't showing me no different. He ain't showing me no different, bro. He be good. He be good through training camp, mini camp, preseason. But when that regular season hit, he started to play against greater competition. So he checks out in those games.
The Falcons was greater competition, and that was the game where Dak said, you know what, I can't take it. The Falcons defense, hey, bro, you know what I'm saying? I've been through enough. I just can't handle it. So the Falcons was defense. That was the team.
That's the kind of stuff that you deal with. Shout out to my man Jay Tuck. But seriously, sometimes some of the arguments that people make aren't even rational. They just are crazy. But that's the way it is. And the thing, people always say, well, Cowboys need to get rid of Dak Prescott. You got to understand, people, it's not just about play on the field. It's about being in people's minds. Nobody is on the minds more than Dak Prescott. Nobody is talked about more than Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is the golden goose that keeps on giving, the publicity machine, the target for the NFL. And I'm not sure that there are many people who could get scrutinized as much as he does and get as much hate as he does and still be able to brush it off. He does have a degree in psychology, and he probably has to use it for himself more than anything else to keep himself sane. It's ridiculous. You don't hear this kind of hatred or putting down of any quarterback out there. And there are plenty out there that have failed, that have had high expectation. He was a 4th-round draft pick. Take a look at the people that were drafted around him. Take a look at how many 4th-round drafted quarterbacks have been able to be there and play at this kind of a level. He's on the precipice of having every Dallas Cowboys record. And I have to look at this. There's revisionist history where people will take the totality of his career and say, he's had all of these things, but he hasn't had these things consistently. You can't look and honestly say that we had a team anywhere near what the Rams were when they won the Super Bowl, or Tampa Bay was when they won the Super Bowl, or when the Eagles were when they won the Super Bowl. You can't. You can't. You had Jason Garrett. Do you look at Jason Garrett and say, that is Andy Reid? No. When he had Dez Bryant, it was the last 2 years of his career. Did Dez Bryant do anything after that. You've had guys that are okay, not high quality, receivers there. Alan Hearns, the Lucky Whiteheads, and things that have come through. We've literally gone through and usually only have one good wide receiver. Now, people will go through and say, well, they had Zeke, and Zeke was eating. Zeke ain't been eating since 2019, not like Zeke used to. Zeke Elliott, throughout most of the 20s, hasn't been better than Miles Sanders was 2 years ago. That's a fact. Tony Pollard wasn't bad, but he's a complimentary back. You couldn't look at that and say you have an outstanding running game like the Eagles do or the Ravens do with Derrick Henry. Our offensive line, 2016, I will give you, that was a great offensive line. By 2017, we started having Chaz Greens in the mix because Tyrus just started breaking down. 2018, Travis Frederick. Misses the season with Hillian Bars. Comes back the next year and then retires, but wasn't the same guy. You had Jason Witten, which was the best tight end that you had. Old Jason Witten, who left and went to the Raiders, retired, unretired, and came back and said he was going to be a mentor, but stayed on the field and wasn't that guy anymore. Yes, he was always open because everybody said he ain't breaking anything big. We wanted the ball to go to Jason Witten as opposed to Amari Cooper. That we were literally so bad as far as our receiving core that we made a blockbuster trade for Amari Cooper in the middle of the season, which helped. And before we had a chance for CeeDee Lamb to mature into being the guy he is now, you ended up shipping off Amari Cooper without replacing him, and Cedric Wilson. So this whole thing that we've had these juggernaut teams, bro, by the time we get to the playoffs, two things that you can count on is Cowboys can't run the football and they can't stop the run. When you become one-dimensional in the playoffs and you have to just throw the rock to guys that aren't necessarily big-time players, that are game changers, you're going to get turnovers. You're going to get blown out. You're going to lose. And you can't put all of it. Yeah, you can put some of it on Dak. I'm not going to say you can't. But you can't put all of that on Dak. There is nobody on the Dallas Cowboys that you look at and say, my God, man, that was a Super Bowl performance. Certainly not Zeke, except for his rookie year going against Green Bay. He had 125 yards. After that, Zeke in the playoffs, atrocious. Tony Pollard in the playoffs twice. Ain't no hay. Our playoff losses were under 70 yards rushing, and usually about 20 or 30 yards of that is Dak Prescott. Micah, not to throw shade on him, 4 playoff games, 1 sack. For whatever reason, the Dallas Cowboys do not show up for playoffs. They just don't. We got to change that. We got to fix that. All right, so enough on that situation here. The Cowboys signed Robert Rochelle, cornerback Robert Rochelle, who is basically a special team guy. Let's be clear here. Special team camp body guy. And defensive tackle Perrion Winfrey, who Winfrey was actually highly touted when he was drafted by the Cleveland Browns, but was released because he threatened a woman in 23 and hasn't played since then. So the funny thing is usually at this time of the year, because this is not the usual type of year. Usual type of year, we're not making trades for guys like George Pickens. You're not usually bringing in Dante Fowlers. We're not usually getting Solomon Thomases. We're not usually making those kinds of moves. Typically, the moves we made yesterday are our major moves. Cowboys expected Robert Rochelle and defensive tackle Perry Winfrey. They both worked out for the team last week during OTAs, and they ended up releasing Justin Rogers and Luke Barrico. Both of those guys got let go yesterday to make space for him. Jair Alexander, like we mentioned earlier, signed with the Ravens, prove-it deal, friends with Lamar Jackson, $4 million basically guaranteed, a deal worth a maximum of $7 million. So good deal for the Ravens. The Ravens are definitely stockpiling and trying to get better, and we'll see how well that works for them. I hope that the Cowboys get Micah Parsons done. But I think what's happening with Micah Parsons is he's looking at the situation of Dak versus CD last year. Dak was in the last year of his deal. CD was in the 5th year of his deal. Dak, you got to have Dak there in training camp. You just do. If anybody should have held out, it should have been Dak to make sure I heard him get my contract. But Dak understood the game that's being played and figures I'm better off being there at training camp than not being there, because if I'm not there, I get my contract and then I perform terribly. Everybody's going to look and say it's because he's greedy. And this is where Mike is taking the high road and saying, I'll be there. The deal will get worked out. I'll get paid because I don't want to hurt myself or the team situation. And that's playing it the right way. So when he does get that record-breaking thing, you can say, well, but look at the guy. He didn't hold out, in which case the Cowboys look better as far as going to the players and saying to the players, holding out, you're only hurting yourself. We'll get you taken care of on our own time, and hopefully sets the precedent to keep people from holding out. Because the problem is, today's NFL, you got 14 padded practices for training camp. You don't have as much work in the offseason with all of the mini camps that we used to have. You literally need to go to training camp with the basis of what you're going to do, and you need to refine it in training camp. Otherwise, basically the only action you have is games. Because once training camp is over and the season starts, you can have 1 padded practice a week. That's it. And you're not going to get a feel of a game. And if you're bringing in people or guys are just getting in after training camp, they're behind the curve. Carl Lawson, I believe, could have had a really great season last year if they had signed him before training camp and he went through training camp with everybody else until after. It took him several weeks before he got the game plan under his belt. So hopefully the Cowboys can get this thing worked out. Shout out to so many people have sent me clips from this of Coach Whitecotton from Holly Pierce and Curtis, I think, sent it to me. I've seen it on Instagram. I've seen it from the Dallas Cowboys. And this is actually really good. This is from last week in minicamp. Coach Whitecotton working with the defensive front. Let's check it out as we get ready to get out of here.
All right, wire on. I got a wire on. Wired up. I'll send another.
65 latitude and 75 longitude, you'll drive deep into the forest. And if you go to the very coordinates that I have given you, you might find a body.
Who's the killer?
Find out next time.
No, don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Okay.
All right, Alex, here we go, buddy.
What we got right now, bro, this is a blessing every day that we get in this building, bro.
Amen.
So honor that blessing, honor the privilege that it is to play for this team, bro, put in that work.
Let's get this going. Here we go. Come on, let's just start us up, baby. Here we go. Attack! 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 Get off and let's go. Get off and let's go. Get off and let's go. Attack! Come on, here we go, Sam. Get out. Go, solid cobra. Like a cobra. Get off it. Run off the ball. Sprint off the ball. Sprint off the ball. Sprint off the ball. Come on, Big J. Finish soft, Tay. Finish soft. Here we go. No, we're going. Get off comp, okay? Get off comp from the goal line. Now, to eliminate a lot of whining and moaning, the finish is touching the bag. I got the white. You can't be anywhere past the blue. Jim's hut. Oh yeah. Go. Hey, quit about the bags. If you're a real G, you'll win anyways. God almighty. Go! Oh, yeah. Ready? Go! Go! I got 3 more. 3 more. Come on, man. Let's compete, man. Let's get out here and compete. Go! Look at the ball. Woo! We got some gas going today, baby. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Hands. Hit it. Hit him in his hip. Hit him in his hip. Get up. Boom. Hands on the top trap. Good. Get up out of there. Get up out of there. Don't. Hey, stay square. Stay square. Stay square. There it is. Don't turn your back. Get your hand right in there. Come on. There it is. Good. Right up under the breastplate. Right up under the breastplate. There we go. Good. All right, here we go. Defensive ends on the right. D tackles on the left. Right here. Ball's right here. You stand on the blue line. Okay, hey guys, listen. You're working bounce with pullers. So I'm coming off. Osa's getting the down ball pull. He's fish hooking. Boom. I'm overlapping him. I'm going to that bag. He's going to that bag. Everybody feel me on that? Come on. Let's work. As quick as you can go. As quick as you can go. As quick as you can go. Boom. 1, 2, overlap. Go, Marshawn. Overlap. 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 Beautiful. Fish hook, Jay. Fish hook, Jay. Fish hook, Jay. Lean into it. Go, baby. Go, baby. Good. Good burst. Good burst. Go get it, Sam. 22 miles an hour. 22 miles an hour. Go, baby. Go, baby. Go, baby. That's it right there. Good burst. Come on, Tay. Come on. Get out there. Get out there, Justin. Get out there, Justin. Lean into it. Lean into it. Go, Tay. Go, baby. Go, baby. Good. Get a drink. Get a drink. Get a drink. Get a drink. You're going 1 bounce or power step across the guard of the tackle's face. So if I'm a tackle, I'm going to 1 bounce. I'm going across his face. I won now. I won. Now I'm vertical. I'm turning the corner. Overhand the towel. Overhand the towel. Finish. And you're bursting. Stay to the inside, to the right of the cone. Okay? Walk through it. Boom, boom, boom. Tight. Now lean into it. Burst. Good. Beautiful. Beautiful. Hey, 1, 2, cross. Run it. Lean, 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 lean. Good. Beautiful. 1, 2. Go, Mozzie. Go, Mozzie. There you go. Hey, way to battle. I don't even give a f about the towel. Good. Tight, Sam. Tight, Sam. Lean into it. Pick it up. Yeah! Ah, stay inside.
Love it. I love it.
1, 2. Cross. Lean. Burst. 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 Good. Good. Come on, Luigi. Long stride, long stride, long stride, long stride, long stride. Good. Come on, Marshawn. Lean. Burst. Good.
Need Marshawn to step up this year.
Great job, guys. I said pretty much everything needed to be said. We will wrap tomorrow. Remember, vets, bring a little bit of wisdom tomorrow for the young cats who ain't never been through 35, 40 days of the summer. What happens in the next 35, 40 days, plus what you do and get ready to camp, and then strap that helmet up on a Sunday, that's what really matters. Everybody's the man in OTAs, all right? We don't play football in T-shirt and shorts. Feel me? All right? Break it down, man. I'll see y'all in there.
All right, good people. As always,
we're going to start.
As always, I appreciate you guys, and we'll keep you up with any news that breaks with the Dallas Cowboys, but don't expect a whole lot because it's that dead zone. Peace out.